Happy Monday, everybody. Let's talk about some budget deck building for October 21st, 2024. Let's get right into it. If you like what I'm doing, if you like these videos, if these videos are helpful to you, please like and subscribe and, become a member of the channel. Mage is still high. Mage is still very high on the win rate, 55%. So Renathal came and it, made some adjustments. We also got a small nerf to Tsunami, and people are saying that it didn't nerf it, it buffed it, it's even better. So you see Mage number 1, and then Shaman really close to number 2, beating out number 1 with 54.5%. Paladin is still strong. We know why. It's Handbuff Paladin. It's very cheap. This is good. And then Hunter at 51%. And then the rest are low. Doesn't mean anything. Obviously, there's pockets of win rates on all of them, but yeah, Priest and Rogue being all the way down in the bottom. Warrior is dipping back up, and Druid. What happened to Druid? Druid's been kind of wonky for a few weeks. Let's go into just the last 7 days of the meta. We'll see right here. Pirate, Demon Hunter's got something. Dungar and Taunt barely have anything. So it's at 50.1% and 51%. And then, yeah, Death Knight has Razzle Death Knight, but it's very expensive. I don't think it's very strong right now, even though there's a lot of people playing it. There's 220,000 games in the past 7 days. Hunter has a lot of options. Secret Breakfast Spell Token. We're going to talk about something funny here with Breakfast Hunter in a second. And then, yeah, it's just Big Spell Mage, Elemental Mage. We're going to talk about Elemental Mage. I want to bring it up because the new set is coming out soon. I think there's some high potential there. Paladin, it has Earthen, Handbuff, Tourist, Flood. It's great. Paladin all around. We haven't seen any of the new Paladin cards yet, which I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be fun to see, but right now, if you have 1,000 dust, you could be winning games all through the ladder. Not even bronze through gold, everywhere through the ladder with Paladin. And then Priest is just, is just standing there at lower than 50% win rate going, hey, when is it my time? Not with this new set. I looked at the expansion cards for Priest and I'm like, I don't see anything there yet. But of course, it's early. Rogue. We're going to talk about Rogue. We're going to talk about Rogue for one specific thing. I think you've seen it when you looked at the thumbnail, but the rest of it, it's just, there's nothing really there that's as impactful because everything's just getting smoked to some of the other decks between Handbuff and between the Demon Hunter Pirate and then between, all the other cards. It's just nothing. Shaman has a lot of options. Shaman doesn't work in a budget capacity. I checked again. I check every week for you. I want to find a Shaman deck that's below 5,000 dust that has a high win rate, and it's just not there. They're just all stupid expensive. So there's nothing really there for us as a budget player. And then, Pain Warlock is the only Warlock deck that's really any good right now. And then Warrior has Odin, it is 50.2%. You're not playing Warrior in this meta, at least right now. One of the cool things, cool, crazy, whatever you're talking about, Breakfast Hunter is the highest deck played in the past week now. It's 34,340 dust. That's like literally a car. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a car, but that's huge because Renathal. Listen, Renathal, we know what it does. It allows you to play 40 cards. It has 40 health, and it's just going to make a crazy high dex, but I don't think they were this high and before Renathal at all. I mean, there's a bunch of cards in here. There's probably like 7 or 8 or 9, 10. No, there's like 15 legendaries in here. I would imagine at least 15 legendaries. You saw those gold gems that I saw there. And then Warrior's right there at 32,000. Just to flip through really quick. So Death Knight, nothing crazy besides Handbuff Death Knight at 51%, 61% or what have you. We are going to go ahead and I'm going to leave the Handbuff Death Knight in there. It's a great deck. It's very easy to pilot. It's got some fun stuff for it. And then, yeah, to go over Demon Hunter, you just have pretty much Pirate. And Pirate's barely there. Like, Pirate is, 4,500 dust for 59% win rate. And the next one up is at 5,900 dust. So that you're really only playing Pirate Demon Hunter. The new cards for the new expansion for Demon Hunter look really fun. Druid's got some stuff. I mean, Druid's got Treant, and that's really it. You know, Concierge is a little bit up there, but you can make adjustments. If you have Treant and you have Dragon Druid, you can mess around with Concierge a little bit. So you do have options there, but there's not a lot. And then, you know, Hunter's great. Hunter's got Spell, it's got Secret. It's got multiple versions of both of them. And then there is a 4600 Dust Breakfast Hunter that has a 46.4% win rate. Maybe some tweaks would be needed for this. It needs Ranger Gilly, and I don't think that's a card that I would be crafting for any way, shape, or form. And then Mage, exactly what's up. I want to talk about Mage in a little bit more in depth really quick, but you got Elemental, you got Spell, you got Big Spell, you got this Orb one. You got a lot of options if you're playing Mage. Paladin, we already talked about. Nothing else to say. 720 Dust for the 54% win rate, and it'll go way higher than Gold. Just nuts. What else? Priest. Nothing to talk about with Priest. You need 10,000 Dust. That's all there is. You just need 10,000 Dust. Rogue, there's Dagger. There's multiple versions of Dagger Rogue. All of those are less than like 3,000, 4,000 Dust, so you have options there. And we're going to talk about this new Spellburst Rogue. That's the one we're going to spend most of the time discussing. And then Shaman again. You got some Elemental Shaman. Okay, so I did not see this before. I did not see this 3240. We're going to dig into that really quick. This is completely unplanned that I found an Elemental Shaman at 3240 Dust. Insanity Warlock. Don't see any Pain Warlock. Yeah, Insanity. There's one Insanity Warlock archetype deck for 52.4%, but we're not going to talk about that. And then Warrior only has, Warrior, you need a lot of cards. You need a lot of the legendaries. This one has 4 legendaries in this one. And that's about it. Okay, so let's go over this. Handbuff Death Knight, we know what this does. Okay, this one's very easy to pilot, very easy to play. The popularity's not that crazy right now, but the win rate is pretty consistent. And what you're just doing is you're just building a quick small board while you get things running, just like the mining casualties, the gold panner to get your things situated. You got Chill Fallen, to draw a card or what have you. And then you have, make sure you put Darkthrone Quilter in your hand as quickly as possible. You have Amateur Puppeteer, and then you have Yelling Yodeler that could do some fun stuff to make your hand buff like crazy. And then obviously Hollow Hound and Gnome Muncher bring it up. It's pretty cheap, so I'm definitely going to leave the link, like I do with all of these, in the description below. This one I would absolutely consider playing. I'll put this link up. Yeah, I wasn't planning on talking about it. I didn't see it like that recently. Next one we're going to talk about is Elemental Shaman. This is at 3,240 Dust with a 50.5% win rate. So that's cool. Let's talk about this one. So it's just elementals across the board. A couple of spells that are helpful, useful, no problem. Nothing crazy here. Just playing spells consistently. You've got Ragnaros at the end. And then you have Deathwing to destroy all the minions, discard a card for each minion destroyed. You've got Scar, the Catastrophe. You got Kalamos. So, yeah, essentially it's a very cheap deck because a couple of these are in the core set. And it's just elemental synergy. Let's talk about elemental synergy real quick. Let's talk about Elemental Mage, and then we're just going to go over what I wanted to talk about for this. Same thing here. A couple of small spells, but it's mostly elemental synergy. Between the two decks, between Shaman Elemental and then Mage Elemental, I think Mage has the bigger opportunity here in terms of elementals. These are another one just super, super, super easy to pilot. And then for both of these, there's some good elemental support that's coming in the new set. So look, Mage has got a bunch of cards. There's a bunch of neutral cards. This one right here, this Splitting Space Rock is amazing. It summons the 2/4/4 Spitting Boulders, and then at the Death Rattle, it makes them smaller, what have you. It's a really cool card. I don't see any elementals for Shaman, but I would consider, if at this time, and listen, the set comes out in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a little bit, November 5th. So if you're messing around with elemental and you have a halfway decent elemental deck, especially with Mage, absolutely keep on pushing for that. This could be something that you could craft a couple of those cards, or save the dust for when the set comes out and you can possibly grab this, because this legendary Saroon, give all elementals in your deck fire spell damage +1. That's pretty crazy. So you'll need 1600 dust for that. All right, last thing we're going to talk about is Spellburst Rogue. This just came up a couple of days ago. I haven't seen anything about it. There was a Dagger Rogue that was pretty prominent. We've talked about it before, and now the new thing is Spellburst Rogue. And if anybody can do broken things with this Nexus Prince Shafar, which is a very cool card, I just didn't see too much stuff that was being used with it, Rogue found a way. And essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to have a lot of small spells in your hand, or coins, or what have you, and then you're going to use this Nexus Prince Shafar to, hit your spell burst out and give a minion in your hand +3/+3 and the spell burst. And you have just a couple of minions in your deck that you could build out. They're pretty strong too. So Adaptive Amalgam always keeps its enchantments after you death rattle. So when you're death rattling, it goes and shuffles into your deck and you have another one. Rogue is very easy to card draw, so you have that one. And then you also have the, the Bargain Bin Buccaneer. That's the rush, and then the combo is summon a copy of this. So if you go online, you've been able to see some of these crazy combos on Twitch or YouTube or what have you, where they're making like 16, 15 Bargain Bin Buccaneers, double of them at like turn 5, turn 6. Pretty crazy. And then listen, you also have the Shadow Step, so you could bring it back into your hand. You also have the ability to use, where's the other one? There is another card. I can't remember what the name of it is, but we will find it. Oh, Breakdance. This one, Breakdance, where it's return a friendly minion to your hand and then summon a dancer with its stats and rush. So imagine it's 16, 15, and you throw one of them back out. You have the spell, but it's nutty. People are loving this deck. The popularity is growing a little bit higher. It's brand new. We haven't talked about it. The win rate's not as crazy as it was when it first came out. Listen, try this. It's 3,960 dust. You already got Nexus Prince Shafar as the free card, so it's going to cost you even less than that. I think that's the only legendary. Yeah, that's the only legendary in this deck. So most likely, if you're a budget player, you already have a huge chunk of the cards already in your collection right now. I think Adaptive Amalgam you got as free in the Tavern Pass. I don't remember the name of it. Shadow Step, Preparation. These are all cards you already have. Try this out. It's probably super cheap for you to be able to play. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited about the set that's coming out. I love the cards that are coming out. One of the things that I want you all to look at as you're going through the motions of, hey, what am I going to be playing? What do I want to look out for? I think the biggest thing that you should look out for as you're doing this is, number one, elementals, like I just said, for Mage or Shaman. More Mage, but it's a potential there. And then Draenei. So the ability to have so many Draenei in this, not looking at the priest ones, just looking at the neutral ones. There's multiple common cost cards that are all Draenei that are potentially going to work very well with each other. So give that a look. So what I'm going to do is when the set comes out and I start looking at the budget decks, I'm going to start looking at how to build Draenei decks to where they're super, super low cost and they just work for each other. One of the things that's important here is, so like this one here, this Velen, Leader of the Exiled, it's Draenei, and then trigger the battle cries and death rattles of all other Draenei that you've played this game. So this could be pretty powerful. The idea is, if you only have to build or craft one legendary as a budget player, it might be this one. It might not. I don't know yet. Still super early. Again, if you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. I'll put all the links to the decks that we just talked about in the description, and I will see you all in the next video.